Last episode, I proved how big this place is. Today, I decide how it works. So since I want to start making this base hub area working for me, I think the first thing I need to do is actually bring the portal down to this level so I don't have to keep on running to the surface to use it, and we can start coming in and out of this space. So I'm going to turn this scaffolding portal into an actual portal. And with placing these obsidian blocks, I'm going to actually end up disabling my beacon, but I think we're okay for now. I don't need to do any more digging at the moment. One portal, linking to the nether, bringing us down here. I do need to go and destroy the one on the surface though. So we have our beacon placed. I've got these quartz blocks and stairs. So quartz stairs move quartz blocks to kind of dress it up a little bit. I'm not going to do too much detailing. I think I just want to place some blocks around it just so it kind of sits nicely in the center of this space. Okay, yes. I like that. It's not a big, massive portal which just takes over the whole room, but it's a decent sized one, I think it is. How big is this thing? 7x6, 5x4, this internal. And I think it's a good size for the center of this area where everything's going to start fanning out from here. So next I want to add the columns. It's going to help us set the rhythm for the entire space. So we've got a central piece, and then I think the next major parts of this room is going to be the columns. I've gone around and I've brought in a little bit from where I originally thought I wanted the columns to be, and they all line up with each other. So I've got the 4 bases down. So I just want to build them up to the general height of where I think I want them to be for now. And let's get this first one in, I guess. So there's 2 of the columns in, and I think I'm happy with the height that they're at. They give us a good amount of space to develop and understand how the ceiling is going to look like in here. So I didn't want to go all the way up to the top. I wanted to give it a little bit of breathing room. So I think I'm happy there. I'm liking the scale. I just need to get these other 2 in now, really. So with these 4 columns in, we're slowly moving away from this looking like a cave and more like a hub area. Again, I've left myself a bit of space for the ceiling and that kind of transition in between how the ceiling will connect to these columns. But I think they're the right size, the right height, and we're again heading in the right direction. And speaking of direction, I kind of want to figure out some pathing directions as well in here, flowing out from the portal. So I've dug out a trench. It's 5 wide, but the path's only going to be 3 wide. I've used these stone bricks as temporary blocks for now, and it makes sense, I guess, in this kind of hub space that we would just move out in the cardinal directions. It doesn't make really any sense to sort of do some windy paths because what's going to happen is I'm going to run out the portal and then just run in a straight line towards where I need to go. So straight paths in the cardinal directions I think works absolutely perfect in this space. So with our first path in, which basically heads in the south direction towards where our farming automation is, I've added another one heading east and a sort of curved path connecting the two just to add additional paths. But it gives us some kind of ideas or spaces of where we can add things as time goes. I didn't want to just add a path directly against the portal. Since we do have space in this room that we can play with, why have the path directly against it? Come out a little bit. Am I going to use the path every single time? Probably not. But it will look nice. It'll look like a nice path. And eventually I do want to have our storage underneath this area. I think I said that in the previous episode at least. So what I might do then is when we get to this side of the path area, instead of it then continuing around looping to the other path, we have the staircases here and the other side spiraling down. It's not really a spiral, it'll be a quarter circle turn. And it will head down into what will be the storage area. So I think it kind of adds a bit of variation into our detailing as well. Okay, so temporary stone brick for the 4 cardinal directions with 3 of them connected. I got rid of this bit in between the side of the portal. The path didn't really make any sense. I'm not sure how I'm going to connect this side to the other paths, considering we're going to have a staircase here. So that's something I'm going to have to workshop as time goes. But to be honest, it leads into a massive cave at this moment. The other piece to kind of start laying down is the wall. And a large part of the wall and a large part of the floor is going to be this tiled deep slate. And I don't want to take away from the fact that we are underground. Yes, we're going to have these big columns and portal and designs and things and pretties, but we are underground. So I think if I make the majority of the wall and the non-designed parts of the floor this tiled deep slate, I think it will help push out the designed areas, make them stand out a bit more. And that's going to be pretty much that all the way up. And in terms of design, I can show you a little bit because I've got some copper on me. We'll have these copper floors, which I think sound amazing to walk on. So we're going to have these orange copper floor bits that we're going to be working on, copper here and there. We've got the quartz, we've got the nice whites, we've got the nice sort of orangey reds, and then we're going to have the black on the walls and the floors area. So it's going to really make these parts really stand out, really punch out. And there's a little sample for you of how that's going to start extending up. And I like that already. And with that, we have the skeleton of this base hub in place.